All right, we are live. Our question today for growing a law firm is, how do I actually get clients to complete my intake forms? Now, this is a question that I get from lots of different types of attorneys. This particular question came from an estate planning attorney, but I know there's family law attorneys that need intake forms completed. There's real estate attorneys. There's business litigation attorneys. There's all types of lawyers have intake forms that they need their clients to fill out. And the problem is that if they don't fill out these forms, then you're going to end up in a situation where you're not able to serve them in the best way possible. You're not able to serve them at the highest level possible. So how do you get the clients to actually fill out the intake forms, right? And here's the thing, as a service industry, we work with lawyers, we serve lawyers, we deal with the exact same thing. Believe it or not, lawyers also don't fill out their intake forms when they hire us, right? So we've actually figured out ways to get a much higher percentage of lawyers to fill out their intake forms. And I want to tell you what we did, and we've also passed this information over to our clients and to other lawyers, lots and lots of lawyers. And I want to let you know how we did it. Now, do me a favor before I get started. I want you to comment below in this video, whether you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook. Comment below this video if you say, give me a 1 if you have a problem sometimes getting clients to fill out intake forms. Give me a 2 if you never really seem to have a problem getting clients to fill out intake forms. They fill in intake forms all the time. And give me a 3 if you don't ever need intake forms in your law firm, because I'm really curious to know what everyone has to say about this. So here's the deal, right? What you've got to understand is that people, human nature, they are typically lazy, right? People do not want to put an effort into anything, right? And I'm the same way. This isn't a knock on anybody. This is human nature. People typically don't want to work, right? The second that there's an obstacle in the way, people will not climb the obstacle. They'll just lay down and they'll go the other way, right? So what ends up happening is you people hire you, and then now you've given them work. You've created an obstacle for them, right? So you say, okay, cool, you hired me, we want to, you obviously you need me to complete your estate plan. We're going to get your trust taken care of so that if you pass away unexpectedly, your family is taken care of, that they don't have to go to probate. We're going to handle your family law case. We're going to handle your divorce. You got to, fill out these intake forms so we can do all your financial information, whatever the case may be, right? And then the clients just don't do it, right? And what ultimately happens is the clients end up with a less than optimal experience, and a lot of times maybe a less than optimal result. That would happen to us all the time, right? So what we started realizing is that obstacles, our job had to be removing as many obstacles as possible and taking those obstacles on for ourselves. So, for example, and by the way, I came up with this. I didn't come up with this. Where I discovered this is after reading the book Extreme Ownership, right? Extreme Ownership is an amazing book, and what it teaches you is that at the end of the day, all problems are your problem, right? And now I'm not saying that everything is always your fault, but if you look at everything as it's always your problem to solve, then what happens is things actually get solved, right? So, perfect example. We run a marketing agency. We have 250 lawyers that we do websites and search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising and social media and all that type of stuff, right? And here's what used to happen. We would get them tons and tons of leads, and we would look at their call logs, right? And we would look at the call logs and we would see duration of time, especially after 6 p.m. So the duration of the call was 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. And we're like, guys, what's going on here? And they say, oh, well, our calls go to voicemail at night. So we're like, what the heck, guy? Like, you're paying for these leads. Hire an answering service. Get somebody to answer the phone 24 hours a day. You've got, this is in your best interest, right? So is your best interest just to answer the phone? And they wouldn't do it. It's like a $200 expense, and they wouldn't do it, right? So what did we do? We said, we can either complain about the problem or we can be the solution to the problem. So what we started doing is, instead of just telling our clients, you need an answering service, 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 we didn't do that. What we did instead is we started providing an answering service to all of our clients, right? So what's cool is that now we can tell a client, we can tell a lead, okay, when you hire us, then what's going to happen is you're going to get this answering service, right? And when you get this answering service, they're going to have a real person answering your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That way you never miss a lead, right? So what problem does that solve? First of all, what it does is it solves the problem of them not answering the phone, right? Because ultimately, if we get them leads, but they don't get clients, then we have failed, right? Because they hire us, lawyers hire us at the end of the day to get a result for them, right? They don't hire us to rank on Google. They don't hire us to buy ads for them. They don't hire us to build a website. They hire us so that they will get clients, right? Just like your clients hire you for a very specific reason. They hire you so that they will get a result, right? Unfortunately, if there was a way to get that result without hiring you, they would do it. Just like if lawyers were able to build an amazing website and rank on the first page of Google and do pay-per-click ads and learn how to grow their business without hiring me, they wouldn't hire me either, right? So don't feel bad, right? But what did we do here? We took a result. We took action in our own hands to figure out how can we get them closer to getting the result, right? So we saw the problem. They weren't answering the phone, right? So we said, okay, what is the solution that we can put in place that will result in them answering the phone? Oh, I know. We'll give them an answering service, right? So we give them an answering service. And now here's what's really cool. Now we actually are able to even say, oh, and when you hire us, not only do you get an amazing website, not only do you get amazing SEO, not all that, and which is going to lead to getting more clients and free leads. And when your friends and family and colleagues go to your website, they're going to look and they're going to see you and they're going to be really impressed with your new website. But not only that, but you get a free answering service, which means that you're more likely to get more clients, more cases. And not only that, you don't have to pay for your answering service. You can fire your answering service because we're going to give that to you for free. So what this does is this actually enhances the offer as well, right? Which an offer is very, very important as well. So here's what you need to think about. You need to think about what is every obstacle that is between the time the client hires you and the result that they get. And what is the solution to that obstacle? Now, there's a couple ways you can think about this. First of all, think how would I solve this solution? How would I handle this problem if I charged 10 times more than I am currently charging, right? So if you're a estate planning attorney, you charge $5,000 for an estate plan, right? What if you charged $50,000 for an estate plan? Now, I'm not saying you should raise your price to $50,000, although that'd be amazing if you could, but I'm not saying raise your price to $50,000. I'm saying what level of service would you provide if you charged $50,000 for an estate plan? If you're a contingency attorney, for example, let's say, maybe you charge 30% or 40%, what level of service could you provide if you charged 80%? Now, I know you can't charge 80%. Don't jump down my throat. I'm just saying this is hypothetical. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the brain going, right? So, for example, if you charged $50,000 for an estate plan or for a divorce or for a criminal defense matter, and you needed them to fill out an intake form in order to get them the best result possible, then maybe what you do is you would drive to their house and you would sit down at their kitchen table and you would actually literally handwrite the forms in for them. And you would you'd have your assistant get on the phone with the bank and pull and log in and like sit at their computer with them and log into all of their brokerage accounts and all that type of stuff, and actually like literally grab the documents for them, right? And hand deliver, right? So here's what you think about. Think about what is the $50,000 option and then scale it back to, okay, if that's what I would do if they were charging me, how can I make this work at the current price point that I'm at, right? And then once you do that, maybe you don't make it work at the current price point. Maybe what you do is you add a little bit, you make an additional service, and then you can actually add a service on top of that. So maybe you have, like, if you're an estate planning attorney, or you could do like a document concierge, right? Where what you actually do is you actually do that sort of thing, right? Maybe it's not you, it's probably not a good use of your time, but maybe you actually have somebody from your office, and maybe it's like a $500 upsell, right? And you say, listen, you can do all this on your own, or for like an extra $500, what'll happen? This is Stephanie right here. And Stephanie's actually going to drive over to your house, and she's going to sit down, and we're going to go through and we're going to fill these intake forms out so that you make sure that you don't miss anything, right? We're also going to sit there and we're going to help you log into all your bank accounts, and we're going to make sure that we get all the documents that we need so that you have the best opportunity, the best chance for getting the best outcome possible, right? So that's the biggest thing that you have to think about, is you have to think about, okay, I'm trying to get the client to achieve I'm trying to get the client to do a certain thing, right? And they're not doing the thing, right? So just kind of like asking them over and over and over again, saying, hey, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing. It's not going to change anything, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you want different results, you got to do something different, right? So what's cool about that is that when you actually start taking ownership over the question, like, okay, so I'm giving them the intake form, but they're not filling out the intake form. Why aren't they filling out the intake form, right? And what can we do on our end to actually make them fill out the intake form, to get the intake form filled out? And what's going to happen is when you start asking that question, when you start taking responsibility, even though it's not your responsibility, I'm not saying this is your responsibility. It's not my responsibility to get my clients to answer the phone. My responsibility is to make the phone ring. If they choose to not answer the phone, that's not my fault. However, by making it my problem, I now am able to get better results for clients because I know the result that they're looking for. They're not looking for their phone to ring, they're looking for cases, right? So what I'm able to do is I'm able to understand the result that they want. And as a result, our clients are happier, our clients get more cases, and our clients refer us to their colleagues. And they give us amazing testimonials and amazing reviews. So what happens when we have referrals and amazing testimonials and happy clients? What happens is our business goes up. Our business goes up like crazy, right? Because we've got all these happy social proof. We got all this stuff, and it's because we took responsibility for the things that weren't necessarily our responsibility. We figured out, okay, this is the problem. How do we solve the problem, right? So that's what I challenge you to do. Is if you can't get your clients to do something, right? Ask yourself, how would I solve this problem if my clients were paying me 10 times as much, or if my contingency fee was twice as much as it is, right? And then work backwards and say, okay, well, I can't physically go to their office or to their house and sit down and make them fill out the form. But what if we did this? Or what if we did this? Or what if we did this? And put these things in place and then make it part of your offer, right? You can then make it part of your offer so that now you've got something that when they go to your law firm, you have something that you have a service that they don't get anywhere else, right? So if you're an estate planning attorney, you say, look, not only that, but like gathering all these documents and the financial documents, it's really a pain in the neck. So we actually have a concierge service where we actually come to your house and we do that for you. If they're talking to another estate planning attorney, there's no other estate planning attorney out there that does that, or no other family law attorney out there that does that, things like that, right? So figure out what is the problem that they have, what are the obstacles, what is the result that they want, and what are all the obstacles in the way separating them from the result and where they are now. And if you can get rid of as many obstacles as possible, you're going to make a lot more money. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I got a timer going off here. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.